Tusk, support Spirit Breaker.
I was gonna suggest the Kaka Wisp since he's so good on the hero, but looks like they're gonna go with something else. Wyvern's gonna be the pickup, and that's most certainly Jirax's hero.
Big emphasis on the early game already coming out from EHOME, picking up these bruisers. They want to have lane dominance and control so that they can segue into a nicely polished mid game there. Liquid not looking to express a lot of their game plan. They just get a solid defensive support rather, and Winter Wyvern, who is very good at capitalizing against these melee heroes who have to be into the meat and bones of the fight. So, Scar's got to go. EHOME didn't like what they saw yesterday.
Yeah, why not just be safe? And that you've revealed the strat. It's one of those things, yes, pocket strats are better in BO1s, but you can pull out one and get yourself an easy, quick 1-0 lead in the best of 3. So just because it's a best of 3 does not mean we wouldn't see a pocket pick or something crazy come out from one of the two teams. I think for the most part, Liquid don't run many pocket strats. The Husker being kind of maybe the one exception there, but they're going to run more of their standard stuff here. Especially in just a game 1 of a best of 3. They probably, to me, Liquid's a team who can match up well against EHOME. They play very safe, calculated Dota, often being compared with their playstyle to how the Chinese teams play, and I think they will have a pretty decent chance against EHOME if they just play their normal style of Dota.
Does look like this will be the first time Liquid will get the opportunity to play Doom, at least in this tournament. Do we know if this is just going to be a set mind control Doom, or do we venture that maybe they could put the Matama Man into the safe lane? It's hard to say.
I prefer it in the safe lane, especially with how Liquid prioritize so much farm on Fata. Matama Man doesn't need to... He can go fight while Fata spends more time farming. That's how he plays the Razor, the Shadow Fiend, whatever it may be. So it's hard to say for sure because I haven't played this tournament, but my preference here and what I would lean towards would be the Matama Man safe lane.
I think that's something that we'll see more as the draft develops. I mean, yesterday we saw FY playing a Doom in the support position, so true. I think if the draft lines it up where if the Doom needs to move to a 4-row, he can. And I think that's really the strength of the hero, right? You just don't know.
Lina, the third grab here for EHOME. This comes after a ban on the Viper. Is that just they want to make sure our mid lane has a good time and that they're planning on putting this Lina into the mid lane?
Chinese teams do run Lina fairly often as a support as well, and I think similar to the Doom, maybe picked up because it is versatile. If Liquid pick a mid that's a poor matchup for Lina, like a TA, then EHOME can grab a different mid hero to match up against something like that TA. But pretty versatile here and just always solid, well-rounded, so I don't really feel like there's any big gaps or something that you can kind of look to abuse on the side of Team Liquid from a Lina pick.
Does offer him heavy burst here, whatever potential is to come. Liquid looking up for their third pickup. This comes after an obvious AA ban, which is very nice against the Doom. Could always be potentially for something else they had in mind. Got to casually throw out the Alchemist. I didn't even get to finish my thought before they picked it up. There he is. Alchemist as well. Does feel a touch of greed here for Liquid.
Literally?
Literally.
I mean, I feel like Alchemist at this point, combined with Doom, you just have so much HP up front. On the other side, you still have Tusk and Spirit Breaker. I feel like Astus Spray...
Alchemist with HP? You crazy?
I mean, he's going to build HP, right? He's going to build HP this game. Yeah. Fata generally, I don't think he's going to go for the
Radiance Manta build. It's like...
I feel like if you go for the
popular in vogue...
I feel like if you go for Radiance Manta build against Tusk and Spirit Breaker, you're just asking for trouble. I think you need to go a little bit more HP/defensive build.
But then you look at the first time we saw the old school normal build that Super did yesterday for Vici Gaming, it couldn't close out the game, and then it fell off really hard in the late game.
Yeah, Winter was not happy with the BKB choice.
Yeah.
So maybe that, I do agree. I felt like BKB was not necessary that game, but we saw the effectiveness of that Alchemist in that game where the Basher MKB was pretty scary towards the mid-late game. And I think Team Liquid is kind of driving to end the game around the 40-minute mark, right? That's kind of their average end time. And this game, this lineup could go very late. And I'm scared for EHOME when it does go that late.
Yeah, because so far we don't see where their late game potential is. It's got to be here in these last two picks.
Or they just go early game. We talked about the old chicken with his Dragon Knight. You could still fit that in the lineup. CTY's actually done the safe lane Lina for this team.
Okay.
Talk about Lina and its versatility. They don't just run it mid support. They run it safe lane farming. That's why CTY plays Queen of Pain. Lina, a kind of similar play style overall. You don't have the same mobility, but you've got the same burst damage potential and just the ability to rotate around the map to find pickoffs.
Another CTY special is the Slark. I mean, you often see the dichotomy between Doom and Slark. If Doom's the Slark while he's invis, then you know, he kind of just runs away and there goes your Doom. But of course, Doom is so good against the Slark. I'm not sure exactly how you guys feel about that lineup, and of course CTY playing it, but that is now no longer the case because we see Templar Assassin being picked up. Acid Spray is going to be fairly good against her if that's the 1v1 mid matchup.
Definitely got me a bit percolated there to see the TA come out.
Yeah.
Radiant side, passing over options like Shadow Fiend. You know, why the TA here and now?
Burst damage. You've got to kill an Alk fast. The Chemical Rage is huge HP regen.
Yeah.
You go for, like, Shadow Fiend's got some burst potential in the early game with razors, but once you get late game, you're the right-clicking SF. You're not bursting as fast as a TA can. Immediate pseudo counterpick with the Lich. Also a hero that means they can now run the Doom much more efficiently and effectively in that off lane, having the Lich partner. So I like the response from Liquid. I still feel TA was a great pick, and EHOME overall have a good plan of dealing with the Alchemist and making sure he's not a big threat this game.
I feel like Team Liquid's draft is too full of kind of slows and not enough stuns.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you got Frost Armor against 2 melee heroes. This is good, but you know, when people are running away, what are you stopping them with?
Yeah. Well, we saw the LGD game where they had Lich and Dazzle as their 2 supports. This is very reminiscent of that with the Lich Winter Wyvern. A little bit more aggressive. Arctic Burn in the early game roaming around can cause problems. You can't really kill a TA, but you can at least pressure lanes a bit better than a Lich Dazzle. But
the initiation power is just so low. Yeah, you're trying to go in here with Winter's Curse, and if it finds 2 to 3, that's great, but you know, that's counting on EHOME making mistakes. I'm not sure if I like Liquid's draft so far.
I would have to agree. I was going to add to that I feel the lack of initiation from Liquid, unless they can itemize a way to get themselves into the fight. Otherwise, the first quarter or even half of the game is going to be a bit tricky here for Liquid to kind of get off on the right foot in some of these, what could be chaotic team fights. Snowballs, Spirit Breakers get in your face, lean at potential setups, and that hefty burst of TA.
Their last pick has to be a team fight starter. They've got absolutely nothing. If they want to run Doom safe lane, Clockwork is still viable, but with the Lich Doom, it seems more likely going off lane.
Who's that? Who's that guy? The man with the briefcase.
Well, Alchemist is going to be squishy. You talked about the tanky frontliners. This hero makes everybody just squishy as all hell. As far as initiators go for Liquid, I'm actually shocked. Ember Spirit has been untouched, and this is Matumba Man, Team Liquid, not picking Ember Spirit.
You might see it here.
Yeah, I think that may be one of the strongest last picks Liquid could go for, and something that's been somewhat overlooked, and they'll look back, like, if they're planning around the offlane Doom, you think what Matumba Man heroes are there, and Ember, I think, one of the better ones, because of how much he can kite around in a fight. He's kind of a good answer to... He doesn't really feel squishy if he's not getting locked down.
Doesn't that not feel like, then, that their lineup would just peak so much later than anything we would see from, like, EHOME? I feel like they would just need to take all that extra time to really get onto their feet. You know, Doom has a little bit of a build-up. I mean, sure, he can just pop out Scorched Earth and kind of run through enemies, but someone like Alchemist and then the Ember, they have a little ways to go. I would just fear that if this TA had a fantastic laning stage, would just be able to snowball.
I agree. I feel like you need something a little bit more early game oriented. You mentioned the clock a little bit earlier. I like it. It's a little bit more HP up front. You could Lich and clock, and that would be a very strong lane. And more importantly, gives them that key initiation. Right now, how do you initiate a fight? Again, you rely too much on Curse. Maybe Alchemist gets a blink, but no, it looks like we're going to see a Slark.
This just feels greedy to me from Liquid.
Yeah, your lanes has to go well, and I just don't see the way it'll win, 2 out of 3 lanes.
Now, given if the lanes do go well for Liquid, they have a great late game right now, and I would imagine going past 30 minutes, they would feel pretty damn good about their lineup right now. But if EHOME just get off to a quick start, I can see Liquid having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, Liquid's greedier. They're going to be looking to farm, split push more, and just avoid fights all throughout the mid game. They just do not have, when you've got the Alchemist, and that's to me is a big worry. You pick the Doom to kind of fight a lot using the new buff Scorched Earth, and we're just not going to see it out of the rest of the heroes. Slark's not going to come online at the right time. Fata, maybe we talked about the different builds you can go, whether it's the Radiance Manta or something more fight-oriented. This seems to me, I kind of have to agree with you now. It does seem like a game where you need to go for that fighting kind of mech SMY type build and just help your team out as much as possible.
Well, looks like we're going to get started. It's our first match here of Day 3 main stage action, a best of 3 of EHOME going toe-to-toe against Team Liquid. Let's go ahead and send it over to our casters. It's Odie, Pixel, and Merlini. Gentlemen, take it away.
Indeed, thank you very much, Dakota. And here we are, Ben. EHOME versus Liquid in a matchup where we're seeing a couple of heroes that we don't always see, of course. Liquid picking up the Slark, not necessarily the carry, the core that we see in every game on 6.85, and EHOME bringing in Elder Titan. What's up with that, Ben? Why is this the game for a bit of ET?
I remember talking with PBD at the last time Elder Titan was picked, and it was mostly versus Terrorblade and Morphling that the hero is really good against, but I don't even think the natural order is going to be able to do that much. They have a couple of strength heroes without any armor. You have like magic damage, but it turns into pure later, so I don't think the minus magic resistance is that useful. Maybe they're relying a lot more on the Stomp to set up for spells.
Okay, looks like we should be able to get the show on the road pretty shortly. And so we're just getting the final settings done for both of the teams. But Liquid versus EHOME, looking at the overall odds on certain sites, it's looking to be predicted very close. And I've got to be honest, I've got to agree. There was one kind of swinging point, was the fact that if EHOME were going to get their hands on the CTY Quap, then I would have kind of felt that the game would have favored EHOME a lot more. But with the drafts as they are, I feel that we could be in for another close series, a bit like yesterday's between Secret and Vici.
Yeah, I think EHOME's heading in as slight favorites, but I like Liquid's lineup actually a lot more. I think the Slark's pretty good here, generally not that great versus the Lina, but great versus everyone else on their lineup, and of course they do have the Doombringer. But EHOME, their late game is not that great, especially with like TA getting owned by Winter Wyvern and Doom and whatnot, so we have to really rely on CTY on his Lina to do maybe as well as his Queen of Pain.
Yeah, I guess in terms of the draft of EHOME, they've got the Tusk, they've got the Spirit Breaker, so they can look to try and force the fights early on. And I mean, Elder Titan is a hero. I mean, we don't see him a lot. How much does he offer to kind of the mid game? I mean, is there a point that we're going to just see him look to stick in the lane, get a certain item up before joining the rest of the team, or could he still be pretty potent before he even gets the ult online?
He's seen as like a anti-pusher sometimes, an anti-5-man, because he gets a lot of damage, and just setting up with the slows is really annoying, as well as just being able to push out the wave. And he can do it much safer than the likes of, let's say, Rubik, although most of the time when you have Winter Wyvern, you don't really worry about Elder Titan. But I don't know, Liquid's lineup isn't really geared towards that much 5-man. Sometimes you can see him in like some special cases versus like Broodmother to get a lot of damage with the Astral Spirit. But I don't really see any like super useful ability that he's going to provide here.
Okay, I mean, and obviously Matumba Man's choice here is to go on the Slark. You look at the side of EM, we've talked about the fact that they've got these initiators. They've also got the Lina as well with the burst damage. So, I mean, it's as you said, the late game may favor Liquid, but do you feel there is definitely going to be a mid-game point where EHOME's lineup and draft is going to feel a little stronger than Liquid's?
It just depends on how successful they are with the Lina. I think the Templar Assassin has everything stacked up against her. There's like Scorched Earth, Dark Pact, Acid Spray. These things are gonna deal with her refraction in less than a second, and then they have like a lot of armor with the Lich and potentially like Frost armor from the Doombringer and Cold Embrace and Winter's Curse. Like it's such an impossible game to play TA against, and they're on Radiant side, so I don't really foresee her having that much until maybe she gets like a large Ancient stack. I remember one time in the group stage, I think you were casting with me, and TA struggled a lot, and it was kind of like through LGD just kind of feeding them like 20 kills that he actually got back in the game, but it doesn't seem like the greatest TA game.
I mean, talking about Fata, obviously on the Alchemist, it was mentioned on the panel that they didn't necessarily think it would be the best game to go for that kind of standard Radiance Manta Octarine build. I mean, do you think that is still going to be the plan here for Fata, or do you think we could see a more kind of active fighting or a utility kind of build here on the Alchemist?
We've seen some like half and half builds. Sometimes you get like an early Vit booster to fight a lot and not die, and then you go for the Radiance later. You can also do the same thing with the Sage, and Fata usually plays it by ear as opposed to Super, who almost always goes like the same build every single game. So if they just don't do anything, then he can just get Radiance. If they fight a lot, he can just get a Sage or a Mech and then build a Radiance later. But they're not really that hard pressed for him to like have to get fighting items early.
Okay, and here we go. Let's get the game underway here, and Liquid versus EHOME. So at the moment, in terms of the lanes, I'd imagine it's pretty much what's going to be expected straight up from the draft. I mean, anything here that you feel either team's going to get caught out by, or do you think both teams kind of know where everyone's going to be starting off?
Kind of know what everything's going to be starting off with. Like a Lich on your team, you're generally like playing a little bit defensively and waiting for the opponents to make the first move because you already have the huge early laning advantage. But as usual, look for Kaka's Spirit Breaker rotations.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen Kaka's performances on the heroes. I mean, one of the notable ones, of course, on like the Phoenix, where he always knows when to jump in and get the fight kicked off. And I don't think he's going to be any exception here on his Spirit Breaker today. Let's see what he's able to do here to deal with the side of Liquid in the long run. It looks like we're not necessarily going to see a fight at the moment, as it is EHOME looking towards the bottom rune, and looks like Liquid are just going to aim to grab themselves that top rune. They did get that very early observer down here, but as Jarek's TP'd into the lane and managed to get that vision out before there's any chance of EHOME scouting him out, placing it up there on the Radiant high ground by the Ancients. And as you said, that's going to be quite a big thing because they have got a TA and they'll probably look to start stacking those. So Liquid want to keep some kind of info on that area.
They also just want to secure Fada's bounty rune.
Yeah.
It's really important when you have the Alchemist that he gets like, at least 2 of the first 6 bounty runes, I would say. And this just already gives him so much gold towards his bottle.
Yeah, and would you imagine it's going to be the bottle straight up here? I mean, sometimes we see the Alchemist go for the boots. I guess, yeah, he's not spent the money here against the TA. Yeah, the bottle is going to be the favourable item to pick up with that bounty gold.
So let's see where Mind Control starts off with. He's kind of the only wild card. He can gank mid if he gets a good creep and if TA's under a lot of pressure. But just what, a Centaur? Maybe look for some more camps.
Right, top lane, of course, so 11's Tusk. This was something that was mentioned for the side of EHOME in the sense that, I can't remember who said it, but they were talking about why Quat wouldn't be banned out against them, and they were mentioning because the Tusk is scary. The panel were talking about the power of 11's Tusk, and we'll be able to see it in full force this time. But Timberman's going to be farming up against him in that lane as well. There is going to be Jarek's supporting him up on the Wyvern. You've got Kaka, so it is a very beefy, aggressive off-lane duo, and we've definitely seen this before, and I feel it was EHOME that did this before, wasn't it, with the Breaker Tusk off-lane?
Yeah, it's pretty common. I'm not sure if getting Tusk and giving away Doom is worth it. I don't think that's a trade that most teams would go for. So they really have to get a lot of mileage out of Tusk. 11, I think, does have one of the best Tusks in the world, though.
I mean, Timberman's obviously going to have to deal with that, and then on the bottom lane, CTY farming on this safe lane Lina, something that's kind of fallen out of favour. Obviously, there's a few teams that do still like to run it. I mean, we didn't really talk about it too much, but in your eyes, why would they opt to put the Lina in the position 1 this game as opposed to many other kind of more popular carries at the moment?
It's just their sort of style. They can end games pretty early, and it's kind of like Queen of Pain. She does scale well into the late game, but she's not your ideal one.
They're looking to get 11, and there'll be a charge cross from Kaka here. Timberman jumps forward with the bashes as well. 11's going to be able to get the south off here. Timberman still hitting away to get that early point in essence shift, so he can trade the right clicks, but I was going to go down here at the moment. 11, I was moving back in, does have the snowball and the shards, and he's holding a mango here, so he's always going to have enough for that combo.
It's a pretty nice play by Spirit Breaker. He actually tanked the pounce. I think 11 was pretty close to dying had that pounce actually connected. So neither Observer Ward in the safe lane has been scouted out.
And once there's a few levels here on these 2 heroes, I mean, top lane Liquid have to be very, very careful because there is the burst and the initiation. Kuroki, he's got himself an invis, but there is, in fact, an EHOME sentry ward here, and they are going to see him here. They're looking for a potential stomp, but Kuroki realizes that they've got the vision and walks himself out of the range.
So Mind Control, I think, probably wants a better creep. It's still hard to kill people. I think you'd want a Hell Bear Smasher if you're actually going for kills with the double slow with the Lich. It also just does a lot more damage versus these heroes, but not sure if he's going to get that lucky. It's cooling down in 10.
On mid lane, I mean, Fada just thrown out a concoction here. Old Chicken have a pretty nasty time. He did just manage to get the bottle out though, which he absolutely needed. It's pretty even though in terms of CS here between the Alchemist and the TA. No one forcing each other out, but we can already see the acid spray just being a huge issue here for the refraction. Top lane, trying to go into Kirk. He has got the pounce here, but there is a charge, and yeah, Kirk will just get himself out. 11, he may be in trouble though, as there's 5 essence shift stacks on Matumba. He's hitting pretty hard. That's going to turn around here, because Lanham's turned into lane. They've got a snowball here. They're going to pick everyone up straight onto Matumba, but the cold embrace from Jarek is there. They'll continue to surround him. 11's gone to the side. They've got the slow in with the Orb of Venom, and Kaka trying to chase down a bash would help them get this kill. He's going to have a charge in 1 mana's time, but are they going to go back in with the charge? No, they're going to leave it. So a very early rotation there from Lanham, but it does ensure that no one on the side of EHOME gets taken down by this duo from Liquid.
Very nice cold embrace coming out from Liquid there. And Old Chicken not really able to spend any time stacking. His lane's like always pushed in with the Alchemist, and Alchemist, let's see if he is able to get another bounty rune. So 2 for 3, pretty good so far for him.
In terms of the CS, you got 20 for 2 on CTY compared to the 15 for 2 on the Timberman, so understandably Slark having a little bit of a harder time in terms of getting that far. But as you were saying earlier, it really is all about EHOME just getting the early momentum and using it to punish Liquid's draft, which is going to be very, very strong in the late game.
Setting up for potential kill in mid. Fada going again.
Oh, bottom lane. Lina just goes in there as Kaka turns up with the charge. We had to take the first blood there against the Lich. So already we're seeing a bit of issues there on the bottom. Karka's going to find mind control here. Just going to trade hits here. Lina is nearly, yes, she's close to level 6. And that's the problem. Getting that 1 kill now and putting CTY in the advantage in terms of XP, you've got to be very careful coming back to this lane, especially if you're a level 3 Lich, because once that Laguna's online, they'll be able to find very easy kills with the setup for the charge from the Spirit Breaker.
That's not good at all for the Lich team,
Or
though.
mid lane as well. If they get this kill on Safada, and they just might, they've got the slow, but he has got the haste rune. And looks like they didn't anticipate for that one, EHOME. They'll pull off. Anna just coming back in, knowing that he can trade the hits. He's got Jerax around as well on this Wyvern. He should be fine.
Yeah, that's devastating for the Lich team, though, when you give up a solo kill like that. Because you kind of waste all your time sacrificing in the early game to only have the lane come out as a wash.
And one lane's pings are coming out. We've still just got CTY hanging in there. Hasn't quite found the 6. Lanham's coming back in. And Mind Control's farm, he's reaching on to level 5. He's got a fair bit of CS himself, 24 for 2, so he's of course finding a lot here on this Doom offlane as expected. And Kaka's just going to continue to stack the Ancients by the looks of it here for TA. We're going to see Fana make a beeline for the bottom rune. He's going to hold out and hope for the bounty. We'll see if he gets lucky this time on the Alk again. And yeah, well, Hot Chicken would have wanted to contest, but there's too many heroes here for him to run into it. And yeah, Fana, he's going to get lucky. He gets himself another bounty rune, so more money in the bank here for this Alchemist. As you said, that's what, 3 out of 4 now, so pretty lucky here for the Alk.
Yeah, nice try with the stun dodge. Matoma Man gets going for early treads. Probably wants to Shadow Blade or Blink sometime, but I don't think he's going to
bottom
be able
lane,
to rush
they're
it.
moving in onto CTY here. They've got the slow, but they're stunned there. Lion and Cole's them in place. They turn around with the light strike. The Laguna onto Mind Control. The Scorched Earth heal won't save him as they get themselves the kill. And oh, no, Kaka won't be able to find Kuroki there. But at the same time, on top lane, they did find a kill here onto Slark. So both lanes, top and bottom, heroes being dropped on either side.
Now, we saw the usefulness of the stomp there to set up for the Lina stun. So as long as Elder Titan's in good position, he should be able to do a lot. Going for the 2-1-1, not really focusing on natural order. He doesn't really need to this game. They need more stacks on the side of Liquid, though. That's what you want with the Alchemist.
Yeah,
they haven't had too much time.
Absolutely. I mean, stacks, of course, for EHOME, very nice. For the Ancients, they have been stacked up nicely here for Old Chicken when he wants to go back and clear them. He's also got DD, so he can go and make short work of them if he wants to do them anytime soon. Well, lane Mind Control, still not hitting that level 6. They've let Lanham here on the side of EHOME get a bit of the XP, as CTY did have to go back to base here.
It's a big deal for them to be able to constantly keep an Observer Ward down here, though, to try and keep the Doom in check. Like, one of the benefits of having Doom is like, okay, if we go on him, we can easily get turned around if we don't kill him before Scorched Earth heals him back up. But if you know how many people are behind him, it's a much safer venture.
And in terms of Old Chicken's build here on the CA, do you think we're going to see early big contest actually hold that fourth bottom lane? There's a charge through, Light Strike Array as well into Mind Control, but he did get the Scorched Earth off, and now he's going to look to turn. He throws in the Hurl Boulder, there's a Laguna Blade going back, but this Doom is incredibly tanky. Thinking about continuing to chase, but he will hold it off. Kuroki will manage to get the Frost Blast onto CTY. Kaka's still hanging around incredibly low. He's actually going to turn around for a charge, and like, near to no HP, gets the bash off. He's going to give himself that Light Strike's going to miss. They get the Dragon Save, but they get the Vision here for the Snowball, straight onto Mind Control, and they'll find themselves the kill. Very nicely done there by EHOME and Kaka with Balls of Steel just charging back in on minimal HP.
Staying a little bit too long there, waiting for the TP to come in for the Tusk, but it's pretty close. You want to kill this like really fragile Lina, especially with no treads and very, very few stats. Lina's kind of went this Glass Cannon build, especially with the Soul Ring early, but they can't really capitalize on it.
And we saw that as well. Jarrett's getting a second observer just near the Ancients, so they're very aware that it's up at the moment. The question is if there's ever going to be a point where they can try and contest. Bada back in the jungle, and as you mentioned earlier, the fact that he does go for this build where he's picked up the Sange, so he's got that extra kind of tankiness and HP pool to deal with the burst initiation at the side of EHOME. So we'll see what he decides to kind of build that onto and then follow that up with, as you said, it's not going to be the full greed build here from Alchemist this game.
Yeah, he likes to do a mix. I kind of like this approach from Alchemist. It's like on demand. He almost always goes 2 points in stun though, and it doesn't really hurt your farm that much. If you're a safe lane, then you probably want more in greed, but in the mid lane, I think it's perfectly okay to only have 1 in greed and not max spray.
And with Timberman, of course, on this top lane, Slark, I mean, pretty much free farm. The fact that he managed to find that kill earlier onto the touch, that one kill, and they haven't really pressured the Slark a lot at this point. And they've been putting a lot of focus on the bottom lane, looking to try and catch mind control out when he overextends. But this Timberman Slark could slowly become an issue here for the side of EHOME if he gets out of control.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good at like picking off weak supports though, and it depends on what EHOME wants to do in the later game. But one benefit of having the Elder Titan is the vision from the Spirit, because so many vision abilities got nerfed in 6.85. So you can actually...
Mind control is going to go for this, but there's Alina there. They'll find the light strike away as well with the War's Place. Thank goodness, not quite enough. He gets off the score stuff and he throws the Doom down on CTY. Now he's going to run. Is he going to live? He is. My goodness. It's one tanky hero, and you can see why he's been toned down a little bit in the patch that will be coming out into play after this tournament. As walks off a Laguna, War's Punch, the whole full skill set there of two heroes. Mid lane, Vada coming in with a haste rune. He's got the concoction. Needs to be careful because 11's about as well. Old Chicken is on the high ground, and in fact, that haste rune is now going to run out. There's a charge following through here as well, and we'll see if he's able to get himself out there. The slow's there for the traps, but Timberman is there if they want to turn and fight. The shards come out though. Have they got the stun in time? Yes, they have. Onto Vada, the stump as well, and they'll bring down the Alchemist. Another kill there for the side of EHOME. Very nicely done. And 11, just with that very aware placement of the shards to make sure there was no interruption from the rest of the side of Liquid.
Liquid coming out though on top in terms of the rune control, constantly sending 4 or 5 heroes to those bounty runes to ensure that Fada gets a start. So even though he dies, it's still not that big of a loss, and they plant this very nice observer ward to hopefully jack the stack while TA's taking it.
Bottom lane, CTY coming back in here. Looks like Lanham was going to join him, but cancels the TP. Look, 4 for 2 at the moment. Obviously the kills favouring EHOME, but in terms of farm and the fact that Fada's doing as well as he is, along with Timberman on the Slark, still very hard to call who's really coming out on top of this first 11 minutes.
Yeah, you expect Liquid to be, a little further ahead.
Yeah.
They have the Lich with the Sacrifice, and they have, of course, Alchemist with his Greed. So I actually say this is pretty reasonable for EHOME to only be like 2,000 or 3,000 gold behind. I think that's actually a pretty good position for them. They haven't been stacking as much as they could have, because they've tried to have 2 people in the bottom lane, and Doom's been running around a decent amount trying to kill people with his Golem.
And top lane as well with Timberman, just moving in on to Kirka, getting the hits in. He's running about 1,500 gold here at the moment on this Slark, so we'll see what the option is in terms of item builder. Do you think we could see an early Shadowblade here for Slark, or is he going to go back even for something like a Midas and play for the later portion of the game?
I like the Shadowblade a lot. I'm a big fan of Shadowblade over the Blink. It depends on the game, but I'd say like most of the time Shadowblade's a little bit better. It's much better for trying to get
he just goes in and he gets the Killer Breaker. Then we turn around here with the Laguna Blade. CTY trying to move and trying to chase down Matumbaman here, but he is out of mana, and Matumbaman getting away again with these solo kills that... This is not great for EHOME. He's already been fed 2 solo kills on this top lane. His farm's pretty much been perfect, and he's just continuing to spiral out of control here, 12 minutes in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big problem. Like, if he gets 1 mobility out of it, he can just completely contest Templar Ancients, and that's going to be really bad for EHOME if she has nowhere to farm.
And mid lane, Chicken hanging around, has the back of 11 and Lanham. Nothing going to happen there for the time being, as well, Jarex is around as well, so it's going to be hard for EHOME to try and make a move on the Alchemist. Especially now he has, of course, got that SNY picked up, so...
Liquid's boards are just so much better, though. They have 1 over here, they have like 4 already out on the map right now, so they have like really good eyes on where Liquid's going to be. Whereas they have some in their jungle, but they're not really ganking over there, and they don't really have control to smoke in there at this point.
And here we go, so Matumbaman, his item of choice was the Blink, so something that's going to allow him to get himself into these fights. He's level 11 as well, and you can see, leaving the lane, he really wants to try and make something happen with the rest of the team. Kuroki and Mind Control already smoked up here on the side. They do have the Doom back online. And we'll see if they're able to catch anything yet. Matumbaman just leading the way. And mid lane, you've still got Old Chicken hanging around. He's revealed himself. The Dire Wards as well, very nice from Liquid, so they can see all of this happening in the C11. They'll jump straight in here with the Doom. Whole border to follow up, so Kuroki can get in range for the slow. There'll be a charge coming in, but they'll almost certainly find 11. So that's going to be the first kill here. Now with the charge straight across Kaka onto Mind Control. There comes out the Chain Frost as well for Kuroki. Oh, the bounces with the Winter's Curse for Jarex. It's beautiful. They do get the Light Strike out in return. Fada's getting healed up. Old Chicken's sitting there in the melt, but he's in the acid spray. And Matumbaman is just clearing up now. He's found one. Old Chicken's he's going to get the reflection off, trying to get himself out. Can they chase it? Yeah, Matuma Man blinked forward. Old Chicken stuck. Double kill from Matuma Man. He leaps forward as well, but the stomp is there from Lanham. And Liquid with a beautiful fight there in the mid lane. And just perfect timing there with the Winter's Curse, with the Chain Frost. That couldn't have gone any better for Liquid. And the fact that Slark, he was involved throughout it all, and he's now got 5 kills, 15 minutes in, maybe even made that more. He jumps forward onto 11. They'll turn around with the Echo Stomp. The Snowball will be there to try and turn. They've got TPs coming in as well. Matuma Man, he's got the Shadow Dance, and he'll just jump in. He's looking for 11. No, he's going to play it safe. Backs off, realizes it's a little bit risky hanging around with EHOME. But nonetheless, Matuma Man playing this game very, very smartly.
Overall, another smart smoke from Liquid. They used the Slark to scout out where the ward was. They found out this ward was there. He pinged on it, and then you see like kind of 2 heroes smoking, and they don't really expect a 2-man smoke because they see Fada mid, they see the Slark, and they think they're perfectly okay. But instead, Liquid, it's like a a fake maneuver towards the mid, and ideally you want to sweep that mid T1 tower, but they're still doing a really good job of making the TA and the rest of EHOME feel really pressured. They don't feel safe around this T1 area at all, and of course, a night vision from Slark is just really difficult for EHOME to deal with.
Matuma Man moving in. He's looking for some action. He knows that there's people around, and CTY jumping straight in. Matuma Man's got it. He's got one. There'll be a charge onto from Kaka, but I don't know if they can do anything about it. Kuroki's moving in. I think Matuma Man just looks for more. He's going to find a second here. And 11 and Kaka just left to walk it off, and this is not great for EHOME. The fact that this Slark, level 12, now getting so far ahead of their own position 1, CTY on the leaner, and I mean, Matuma Man just, as we saw there, just jumps on your core leaner and she just evaporates.
And EHOME's still trying to figure out like where in the heck they have wards down.
Oh yeah, these wards from Liquid, they're beautiful. They're setting all of this action up. They allow Matuma Man to go as ham as he is, going straight in. There will be the charge out from Kaka. They've got anything to stop it. No, there is a Winter's Curse, in fact, if they want to try and move him, but now Jarex can't close the gap. 9 for 4. And if Liquid, if they get ahead as much as they are, it's surely going to be quite hard for EHOME to play from behind with their lineup.
They just need one big fight though to take out Roche. Almost Dezo complete on them, but they're just at such a vision deficit right now. They haven't been able to like utilize the Tusk Snowball at all to get kills of any sort. And of course, the team fight potential from Liquid is huge with the Winter's Curse.
Oh, look at Matuma. You got to be careful on the side of EHOME. Lanham's about. He is able to hide behind the tree line. As a charge onto Slark now, and they have brought 11 in here as well.
But he knows he's charged though, because there's no other way that they have vision of him at this point. They have sentry wards over here, so it's kind of a cool, somewhat counter to Spirit Breaker.
He knows, and he should be able to easily get out. He's got the pounce, he's got the Shadow Dance if he needed it as well. They might just turn him. Mind Control moving in, throws the whole board onto land, but there's another strike. Matuma Man, he's going to just jump straight in. Looking for the Dark Pack now with the pounce, gets Kaka. The Dewsbury drop down onto 11. Kaka's going to go down here. And CTY, Lanham and 11 just left, walking back to bases. The full 5-man from Liquid moves in Fada. He won't be able to find the range there for the concoction. But again, Liquid finding kill after kill, and it doesn't seem like EHOME have any answers in terms of what to do to stop this pace that Liquid are forcing.
Yeah, they really don't. They had to try and do the early game to limit Doom's farm, but at the same time, you can't really pressure top and mid, especially when your mid is a Lina versus a TA, or sorry, a TA versus the Alk matchup. They kind of lost out in all 3 of the lanes, except I guess maybe a slight win on bottom, but they haven't really been able to make use of their really aggressive style at all. Can't 5-man at all. Elder Titan not proving to be that
lane. The fight's going off there. Old Chicken's trying to move in with the Desert, but the TP reactions are coming through. There's a Winter's Curse on CTY with the stun as well. They'll find the Lina. Old Chicken will look for the TP out and will get himself away. But again, just another kill being given to the side. They're trying to frantically chase down Matuma Man here towards the bottom. They'll get the charge out, but Dark Pact is there. Should be able to walk it up. In fact, he just turns, starts to hit the Spirit Breaker. And it should be a little bit more careful now as there is a 4th of them moving in. Matuma Man maybe. Oh, he's stuck. In fact, the shards here have trapped him against the cliff. They've got the punch and they've got the Deso here, and that is a big kill for EHOME. Ending the streak there. Old Chicken takes the gold. And some very nice shard placement from 11 there. We talked about his Tusk and just having the awareness to trap him in between the shards and the cliff itself.
Without that perfect of a shard, I don't even think they get the kill on him. He was about to blink out after the Shadow Dance.
Top lane, maybe this is them turning it back up here because they've got the Stomp onto Mind Control. He does have Scorched Earth, and I think they realize that he's so damn tanky now with the Frost Armor as well. It's very hard for him to jump on. Maybe if they commit more, and they will. EHOME wrapping around towards the top lane. KuroKy's there at the moment with mind control. They get the slant to KuroKy. They just snowball in. They'll look for the easier kill and they'll get it straight up. That's going to be the Lich down. Mind control. Look at TB out for the stop. Is it there? Yes, it is. They get the stop there with a spirit. Beautiful play from Lana. Sets it up. 5 heroes move in. They'll burst down mind control and EHOME. They're turning it back up here, and they're showing Liquid that this one is not going to be a walk in the park.
It's a good time to fight. They just got the Deza on TA, and she does a lot of damage, and they have the recently completed Yules on Lena. And of course, is the daytime. However, nighttime's right about to hit, and Fada's going to have a huge influx of gold, probably AC complete in the next couple of minutes, and Liquid might be eyeing to do Roche fairly soon. They probably need a different creep on Doom if they want to do it. He does have the Vlads. He's going the Mass Aura build, pretty useful as the offlaner.
And as you said, you were talking before about how we saw a similar TA performance where they were doing alright, they got a couple of kills, then they came online. Seems to be a similar story here for Old Chicken now. He's at the top of the farm board in terms of CS. He's got 3 kills and now he's got the Blink and the Desolator. So they've got to be very, very scared of this TA. He's also got an Invis rune as well, so he may find a free pickoff. They've got the vision here onto Fada, and I think this house just going to get blown up straight away. 1, 2 from Old Chicken, and now the charge is going to get redirected onto KuroKy here, which is going to work out perfectly if they can move in for more. Now Matuma Man's here, so EHOME, they need to be careful. Matuma Man moving in with the shadows, he's trying to get Kaka. The storm's there, they get the stun off, there's a Doom here onto Old Chicken. They will be able to find the TA, and they do. Winter's Curse is dropped as well. 11 comes in, now the charge through straight from Kaka onto KuroKy. The shards are out as well, but the Cold Embrace is there on Matuma Man, healing him back up. Mecha's been popped on EHOME. They're looking for the Spirit Breaker. They'll find it. No, so Spirit Breaker gets the Never Strike. They'll find this Never Strike onto Lich. There's a 2 for 2 at the moment. But they might be Star gets the charge off as well, so he will be able to escape. Nicely done from Kaka. And up to the top lane here. He's looking for maybe some backup from CTY, but CTY incredibly low on mana here. Doing some pressure. CTY needs to be very, very careful, and that's not careful enough. He pops the Yules, but mind controls them. Matuma Man as well. They'll find themselves a kill. So Liquid do ensure that they end up coming out on top 3 for 2. But still, these are very, very close fights between these teams.
Wow, they really need a CTY there for that fight. That was already a really good initiation. They had Vision on Alchemist on the high ground. He just instantly pops the TA, and if they just needed a little bit more damage output, but split pushing is not the play here.
Now we're going to have a Blink. Now picked up here by Mind Control on the Doom. And SMY is now complete here on Matuma Man as well. He's got 1200 on top. And I mean, the Roshan is up. I'll see if Liquid do try and go for it. At the same time, EHOME are not going to let them have that one for free if they do.
Elder Titan, I think, is actually one of the best heroes inside the Roche pit.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with like kind of the clipping being much more difficult in Reborn. So they have to be super careful. Maybe, probably need a gem in that area.
Getting the vision here for the Snowball. The Snowball won't quite connect. They'll have a charge as well. I'll be able to get the Echo Stomp off. And, oh, Matuma Man might get caught by the crossfire by Kaka. Now, Kaka's going to hold off, actually cancel the charge. So nothing going to go down here at the moment in the Radiant jungle. Liquid's still positioning himself around Roshan. They know it's up and they're very aware that EHOME might look to go for it. Obviously, just having the TA with the Blink Deso. And now building towards that BKB by the looks of it. And doing it at a pretty good rate as well here, Old Chicken. He's got the Mithril Hammer, he's got the Ogre Club. And once you've got a BKB on that TA, it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare here when he jumps straight onto the side of Liquid and starts bursting down your heroes with the Dessa.
But not if he doesn't get that Roche. He's like public enemy #1 though. He got doomed and with
I mean, all the focus is going to be on this TA, yeah, as he jumps in. That's true. There we go. Smoke up from EHOME. Let's see what's on the plan. Is it straight Roche or is it get a pick off fast? It looks like they're going to go into the pit. Old Chicken's going to start to work away and leaving the rest of the team here on the high ground. But Matuma Man will come through. So he knows that the team is hanging around. And TA just looking to continue to solo this one. And of course doing it at a pretty good rate here. The question is, will Liquid come and contest there? We've got Jarrett's moving in, so they've scouted it out. They know what's going on. Have they got the jump potential though, Liquid? And positioning himself in Matuma. Now he's going to go straight in fact, looking for Old Chicken. Old Chicken's got a haste rune. Will juke it out. But now charging up the concoction here. Getting himself back to the high ground, but the stun will still land onto Kaka. And they go back into the pit themselves, Liquid, but they can't really take it down as quick. There's a slow onto Jarax here. He has got that burn off, so he flies away. Shadow Amulet as well, so he'll be fine. Bata has now picked up an AC as well here on the Alchemist, so Liquid are in a pretty good shape here to fight if they can find the initiate and jump.
Yeah, they don't have any vision though. EHOME has this Observer ward up the hill, but looks like they're going to try Do it all wraparound.
Okay, who's going to make this initiation? Matuma Man goes straight in, looking for Lanham here, bringing him down fairly low. They'll throw out the thing, and at the same time, there's been a Doom dropped as well. Matuma Man will get on place. Oh, this chain frost! Oh, it bounces the wrong way, no, bounces back in. Onto 11 again, he's been doomed up. They found 3 already, though, EHOME. So even with a beautiful chain frost, okay, maybe Matuma Man and Fada can clean this up. Matuma Man, he's wrapping around the sidelines. 11 is still alive here. Matuma Man's just going to save himself. They'll just have to leave Fada for dead here as they clean that one up as well. EHOME take 4. Even with a very nice chain frost from Kuroki, the Doom being dropped, EHOME still come out on top. They'll find Roshan. And every single fight as the game goes on seems to be worse and worse for Liquid.
Man, that's probably EHOME's greatest strength, though, being able to win these 5-on-5 team fights with superior positioning. And, you know, Lana on the Elder Titan, though, with the huge Earth Splitter right there. They don't want to approach up this hill. This is a terrible position for them to go in, because if they get stomped into any sort of combo, Lina stun, or Earth Splitter, they're going to die. But they kind of got split off there. Slark on one side and everyone else on the top.
And bottom lane, they're just going to get the push in. They get a tier 1. Oh, Chicken on top of the BKB now, 1100 gold. And this man, he's been having quite a performance this game. He's almost keeping on par with the farmer Fateh on the Alchemist with the 4 points in Greeble. So, I mean, that's something in itself. They're 25 minutes in to be doing that on this TA, and it's all down to the fact that they've been finding the favorable fights, and he's also been keeping on top in terms of hitting those creeps at the moment, as we can see 164 CS, the same as Matuma Man on this slot. Charge forward here. He's already used the Dark Pact. He'll put the Shadow Dance off now. They've got backup coming in from CTY, and with the blink out from Matuma Man, and he'll TP out straight away. So we will be able to avoid that jump in there from the side of EHOME. At the moment, I mean, we saw Liquid, a pretty good grasp on the early game, but it's this mid-game peak that EHOME are really hitting, and each fight that Liquid lose, they're just giving more and more away to EHOME and allowing these heroes like the TA just getting to get scarier and scarier. CTY is still a little bit behind, but now he's made the big pickup. He's got that Bloodstone. So now's the point. If they take like these 4v1s again where EHOME are coming out on top, it's going to get worse and worse. And we're actually going to have a pause. But yeah, so Bloodstone on Lina. Liquid can't afford to take these 4v1 trades again.
It's especially worrisome considering the Alchemist went for a fighting build in this game, and they're still losing out on the fights. I mean, their damage is pretty crazy, though, with TA being this big. I think that Old Chicken's been playing like a really tight game, too. He hasn't really gotten picked off that often with like the Slark and the Doom. He dies in the team fights, but that's kind of to be expected. But yeah, him keeping up in farm with the Alchemist is really impressive.
Absolutely. I mean, at this point as well, what is the plan here for Liquid? We've seen them trying to fight in these positions around the Radiant Jungle. Do they kind of need to wait for EHOME to come to them? Or do you think we could expect to see some smokes coming out from Liquid and trying to make a go for it when the ults are online as they are now?
The early game, they seem like they want to fight more because, again, they didn't really concentrate too much on stacking and farming up the Alch. But at this point, you kind of still have to keep committing to that. You can't play too passively. You have a Slark who still is 9-1. You have an Alchemist with like really good items, 26 minutes in to take fights. So they have to continue what they were doing before. Take down wards with Slark using his ultimate to scout out where the ops wards are, and then take better fights during nighttime where you can eliminate a hero very early on. Ideally the Lina or the Elder Titan, because TA can be controlled through Winter's Curse or through Cold Embrace or even Doom. And he has the Aegis, so you don't really want to focus him down first.
That's just interesting here from Matuma Man. So, kind of an early pickup on this item. So he goes for the Moon Shards. Obviously, one of the heroes that Moon Shards does greatly benefit, but kind of an earlier point in the build to pick it up, don't you feel, 27 minutes in?
I think the general preferred build is Scotty here, but yeah, I actually think the extra night vision is actually pretty useful here. There's not really that many reasons to justify a Moon Shard when you're not really limited on item choices. It is pretty cheap now, but the attack speed, it's still tough for him to man-fight a TA. If he wants to man-fight TA, I think like Butterfly is pretty good for that. So, you know, he's looking for extra utility out of that item slot. 250, so he'll have like, you know, 2.5 times the night vision of EHOME. Not 2.5, 2 times.
Okay, and unfortunately just another pause here, but we should be able to get on. As well as we saw, obviously on the Spirit Breaker, Kaka just picked up the Shadow Blade. He's going to use that to try and find some good initiations across the map, but they have got this sentry down here, of course, Liquid, so they do see him here, and the pings did come out just as that pause came through. So, I mean, do you still feel that very much that Liquid are going to be looking to fight, or will they be happy just kind of trying to avoid what EHOME force and just farming up on these heroes like the Alchemist and the Slark and playing it for the late game?
If they had more items on the Doombringer maybe, or if Alchemist had gone like the Radiance Octarine, then maybe they can take it later, but he went a utility build on the Doom. No Midas, no real late game items coming out from him, just all mid game. So they kind of went all out for the mid game, and they're kind of losing the fights, and you can't keep up the pace of a farm, especially with CTY having his Bloodstone already. So I don't really like Liquid's late game prospects at this point. But before the game started, it looked like it was a little bit better, but with how the game's developed, them not having a gold lead with Alchemist, and some of the team fights not really panning out for them. BKB is coming out pretty soon for EHOME. Like, these are all going to be really problematic for Liquid, and it's up to Slark to kind of get kills a lot.
I mean, TA as well, just on top of that BKB, so 2.6k gold here onto Old Chicken. I guess there's a fair few items that you can look for. I mean, in your mind, what would be the item that he picks up that is just going to be absolutely terrible for the side of Liquid to fight into?
I mean, some people like the Lincoln Sphere after the BKB to deal with the Doom, but I don't think it's that useful because they have 3 spells that can pierce BKB, the Winter's Curse, Doom, and the Chain Frost, so I don't actually think it's that great here. You can honestly just go more... Some people prefer Manta versus the single target as well. If you notice Doom about to blink on it, you can Manta, but it's again, not that useful and a little bit more risky, but he can just go a standard like crit and just kill these low armor heroes. That's kind of what their lineup is geared for, right? With the Elder Titan, with the Natural Order. But not too much base armor on these guys, except for Slark.
Okay, so looks like we're just having some TeamSpeak issues. Hopefully we'll be able to get those fixed ASAP and get on with the game. But I mean, for EHOME, they've got to be happy with this. I mean, obviously earlier we saw it didn't look great when we saw this Slark going kind of... I mean, there was a point where he had 7 kills, hadn't died at all. The fact that they were able to find these fights, obviously the huge thing being that the TA got ended his streak, early on and got that huge influx of gold, which really allowed Old Chicken to get back on track and has farmed as he is, now higher than the Slark in terms of net worth. And then finding that very successful fight on the top lane, and then time and time after that, it's been a while really since we've seen Liquid come out on top of the engagements, as EHOME had just been playing it really well. And of course Lanham on the Elder Titan, not a hero that we see all the time, but he's been there with some pretty huge echo stomps in terms of catching heroes out and just being incredibly disruptive in these team fights for Liquid to fight into.
Yeah, it makes it really hard for anyone to get focused down. They have like a defensive snowball. We saw him try to do it when TA was doomed in Winter's Curse, but it didn't actually end up saving her. But there is still that capability from her, as well as like the Echo Stomp, like multiple people charges. It's really difficult to focus down anyone on EHOME, especially with the mech. But Liquid, as long as they get their combo off though, with the Winter's Curse and the Chain Frost, then they can actually win the team fights. But I don't know, with the BKB out on TA, it's increasingly difficult.
So obviously the build here on the Doom, so Mind Control, he's gone for the Vlads, he's gone for the drums, so going for those auras. What do you feel is going to be his next time? He's obviously got the blink.
Shivas or BKB is generally the choice.
Yeah, BKB. Okay.
He needs to be able to tank up, right? They're relying on the Slark a lot for the vision, but he can't tank everything. He can't like tank Laguna. He can get kited during his ultimate with the Echo Stomp. So it's like it's really difficult for him to just do everything in the team fights. Whereas you kind of just want Doom. Okay, whatever. You cast your Scorched Earth, you cast your Doom, and then you can kind of soak up damage so that the Alk and the Slark can kind of carry their weight and kill everyone off in a team fight. You don't want your Doom to be left alive at the end of the team fight generally. You want the Slark to live and him just get out of control with the Essence Shift stacks, but they're focusing way more on the Slark. And Doom's not getting enough aggro, if you can call it that.
Okay, I think there hasn't been any updates at the moment. Still just waiting for a word from the teams if we're good to go. And we have got people reconnecting, so maybe there's been slight internet issues with some of the computers here, maybe the ones running the servers for the TeamSpeak, so hopefully we'll be able to get it back in.
So one thing from this game too is that, like, do you want to ban out the first ban Queen of Pain versus CTY? I think like Lina and Queen of Pain serve like similar needs, but he seems to die a lot more often on the Lina because he doesn't have the blink available to him. So it's kind of useful information for other teams that are looking to play against EHOME. Like, what are they going to run for the one position? Because we've seen like VP, they use like Vengeful Spirit as well as Lina in their one position, and it didn't really work out for them. But EHOME's been having a lot more success with pseudo carries with the Queen of Pain and the Lina, so you can kind of take a page from their book and kind of see how they adapt if you ban those specific heroes out. But if the one position dies a lot, especially on Alina, it's generally better suited for the two instead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously CTY's not been playing bad this game, but it's not on the same level as the quad performances, and it kind of feels sometimes he's playing as if he is still the quad. We see him quite deep sometimes, and then be like, oh,
he
okay,
played on it like 6 times in a row.
Yeah, he's still in quad mode here. So he's got to kind of tune it back into the Lina. But here we go, we're back on. Now to get the game back under hand. And at the moment, so top lane, there's a bit of a push coming out from Old Chicken. He's going to back up though, doesn't want to look for a fight. Got 3 mid at the moment on the side of EHOME. And of course EHOME will be very willing to try and find a good trade here, a good fight, as they do have that Bloodstone on Lina. I'd love to try and get those Bloodstone charges built up. And what is he purchasing here? I guess it's going to be the Crystallis here on Old Chicken. So with the Deso and the Crystallis, he is going to be hitting for a pretty decent punch here 28 minutes in.
Yeah, they might not. They might start getting Ghost Scepters to kind of counter this because they already have all the armor they can get, right? They have the Lich armor, the AC, and the Vlads, and there's not really that much more. And
Old Chicken.
Yeah, he's kind of out in no man's land. He does have the blink available, but
it's got blink BKB, so yeah, he's going to be okay. He's got the traps out as well, so he's spotting exactly what Liquid as they passed over the one. And the Mayo to mid lane, they're looking for Matumba Man, who'll get off the Shadow Dust, but they have got the charge through as well here. Matumba Man could be in trouble, he needs some help. We'll see Monkey Shots try and come in, he gets himself out. Very nicely done there by Matumba Man. EHOME couldn't quite cancel that blink. Gonna see EHOME try and move forward for more here. Liquid heading back to open tower. Kaka with a long range there, the strike with a Glimmer Cape from Chariots comes out to Matumba Man. Matumba Man just trying to turn out, jumps forward onto Kaka with the snowballs there, picking him up. And the sleep, the storm is hit multiple units. They found Wyvern. Matumba Man still trying to fight, but here's the BK beat up Old Chicken. He's moving in, looking for Slug. Slug low on mana here. Will be able to blink, gets it off. Matumba Man will be able to blink away. So it is just Jerax falling here on the Wyvern. And EHOME aren't able to find anything else. So on the plus for Liquid in the sense that they do minimize the casualties here off the back of this full 5-man fight forced by EHOME.
So this is kind of Liquid's time to fight though. Minus the Aegis on the TA, they drop sentry wards throughout their entire jungle to try and regain control of it. Slark actually managed to escape the smoke gank. That was a pretty good time, but very nice obs ward.
Matumba Man, that was a very ballsy TP. Still going to be okay. They've got to be careful with the Echo Stomp. Pada, he gets out the stun onto Old Chicken. There's no Doom though. Was used in the last fight. Jump forward from Matumba Man. He's looking for CTY, but again the Stomp comes out. Pada, he's hitting onto Old Chicken. We'll find Old Chicken, but there's Aegis. TA's going to be back here for round 2. The ult coming out from Lanham, slowing them all. Old Chicken, he hasn't got that BKB, needs to be very careful as mind control. Pada chasing down. Old Chicken trying to turn. Now with the punch, the snowball picks up the TA here, and now they go straight in. The Stomp tail to mind control. They should be able to find him. Winter Curse has come out. Kaka, he will go down. It's the damage of Old Chicken. It's a 2-for-1 at the moment here. Killing spree for CTY. Maybe they can move forward for more. They get the trap slow onto multiple heroes here. Is Old Chicken going to blink forward? He's got the refraction. Pada charging up the concoction, throws back, and here's Chicken. 1, 2, 3. He's going to need a 4th one, but he's actually looking for more. The snowball as well. They're closing on to Pada. There's a cold embrace from Jerax. Old Chicken just backing up. Buyback here from Doom. Mind control's coming in. They're looking for Old Chicken, but he gets forced back. Old Chicken even turning around, maybe thinking about going back into this fight. If refraction is back and available. Doom moving forward onto the high ground. He's got the scorched up with the sleep here from the Echo Stomp. They'll try and turn mind control. This might be a time out, but the Glimmer Cape is there. And now with the BKB for Old Chicken trying to get up to the high ground. Fada continues to chase. There's the melt. Old Chicken's going to be fine. Mind control drops out the Doom. Old Chicken, he's going to have refraction back up in 3 seconds. He's waiting for the refraction. The Bloodstone heal though. He's going to get him back up to full. He jumps in looking for mind control. Can he get the Doom? Yes, he can. Gets the Doom. He may go down though. Concoction comes out. Can they keep Old Chicken alive? No. They'll lose TA. Lanham trying to get the Stomp off for the sleep, and he gets it. On to 2. There's a charge coming back into the fight, but I don't think they'll continue to go here. EHOME will get themselves out. And a bit of a messy fight. Did have the buyback, which resulted in a dieback for the Doom though. So overall, EHOME coming out top in terms of the XP and gold swing, but only just as they do lose the TA.
Yeah, just super nice kiting by EHOME with the use of the snowball, and of course the Echo Stomps coming out from Lanham. It's crazy. And Liquid's just much more reliant on their ultimates, so if they buy back, it's not the best for them.
He's going to go for this one on 11. The snowball is there though. And 11. It's going to be fine. He gets the blink off. Oh, there's a trap slow. That's going to spin Matumba Man, but TA is still dead, so he's going to be fine here at the moment. 25 seconds until Old Chicken is back in the game.
But they kind of let the TA run rampant in that fight too. They were forced to use the Doom on CTY. But still, not a bad fight for EHOME. It's right around where you want to take it to, right before the Aegis expires. so that if they do kind of power through with buybacks, they won't yield an Aegis at the end of the fight as spoils.
And okay, so Old Chicken back. And in the game, they've got a smoke here as well, EHOME, and they want to use it straight away as the TA comes back up. Let's see what they can do here with this. I'll pop it, make a movement into their own jungle. Now Liquid, they do of course have a lot of diode wards out here, but they're smoking up themselves. We might see a smoke into smoke if EHOME comes to the high ground here. Who's going to make the first jump? Kaka moving in, he's got the Shadow Blade, dispels the smoke, jumping for 11, gets the punch out, Mind Control moving forward, trying to find out favorable doom, but the echoes of the Chain Frost has been cast for Kuroki, bouncing between Kaka and Lanham, now the Winter's Curse, holding them in place. This is huge for Liquid. They will lose Matumba Man though. Vada, he's cleaning up, he found himself a double kill, and they could get more. Lanham, he's stuck next to the Doom with the Scorched Earth. Lanham will go down. It's 3 kills at the moment for the side of Liquid, and they're looking to move in for more. Concoction, it's not going to land though, because 11 will blink away. But a very good fight for Liquid. They do lose Matumba Man, but they killed Lanham, they get the Spirit Breaker, and they also get Old Chicken's TA once again.
Perfect positioning by Liquid too. Finally, they take a fight where they're uphill and they force EHOME through a choke, and of course they get vision on the TA, they doom her, and with the Winter's Curse, Chain Frost after that, it's definite loss for EHOME. So EHOME, they have to kind of cause more havoc in the fights by like charging from one direction, having TA blink in another, and they can't.
Are they going in it? I mean, they need to be careful. 11. He's just going to get slowed down here by the blast. Kuroki just moving and trading hits. And CCY moving forward incredibly aggressively. Gets the Yules onto Jax, but Mind Control's going to go in, start giving the slaps now. Fada throws out the stun, will catch 11. He gets the kill with the Laguna Blade here, CCY, but he may pay with his life. Liquid just chasing him down there, find the Lina. There's a charge through from Kaka. They still have 12 seconds though before the TA's back up. They will be able to cancel the charge. There's Doom turns around here with the level death. Fada moving in. 11, as he can look to try and reinitiate. He has got the snowball, blinks forward, throws out the shards here. Fada, he's going to lose the chemical rage now. He could be potentially vulnerable. Nether's try coming out for Kaka, but the BKB coming out from Fada. He throws out the concussion, but the dodge. The touch snowball is there in time, and now Old Chicken is back on the map. Liquid needs to get themselves the hell out of there, because look at this damage. 1, 2, 3. Kuroki's out for the count. The stomp, the sleep onto Matumba Man. Looking to set up, they've got the Nether strike. If they can find the bash, they're pushing the damage. They've got the control. They'll take down Matumba Man's slot. And Liquid just hanging around for a little bit too long there. They needed to get themselves the hell out as soon as Old Chicken was back on the map.
That was really smart by CTY. I think he knew he was going to die there, but he's still committed, and with the Yules combo on the Winter Wyvern, and then they stay around a little bit too long, and of course with the excellent chasing potential of the Tusk and the Spirit Breaker, they can kind of take the fight, and it's just so far away from Liquid's home that they're forced to retreat.
And now Chicken, obviously got on the courier. It's going to be pretty for him, I can assume. Okay, so he's got the recipe, and he's just, well, with this tower, he'll have the money for the completed Daedalus, and we've already seen how he can just burst through some of these heroes with 3 hits. Now it's going to be maybe even just 2. Jax will be able to force them off, and this is good timing for EHOME. Roshan's back up, and they're going to go straight for the pit, and with Matumba Man still down for 20 seconds, I don't think we'll see Liquid even try and contest this one.
EHOME again taking the fights at the right time. Their like timing is just so darn good for each of these engagements. And Liquid might try and do something, but it's way too late. And it's kind of one of the counters to Doom is having Aegis on the heroes that you really, really want. So they have Bloodstone on Alina. Looks like she's gearing up for a Lincoln Sphere. Deal with the Doom. So their 2 cores are like semi-immune to Doom.
He needs to be careful here. He did build the Scardy, so he's fairly tacky. Mind Control blinking forward, but the blink out just in time from Old Chicken. Vada's going to move forward here with the unstable concoction. See if he can find the stone. Can he actually see anyone? Yes, he gets the vision on 11. They'll find once the Matumba Man moves in. They've got the Doom on CCY. CCY will go down. That's the first casualty here for the side of EHOME. With the ult coming out from the other side, but the Winter's Curse. Also Old Chicken, they're pounding through the TA, but she has got the Aegis. Old Chicken will be back for round 2. Matumba Man chasing down Lanham here, building up the essence shifts. He's on 10 at the moment here. Old Chicken for round 2. Can he do anything but the control? Is it the snowball across charge? Rokaka over the fight, but they'll lose Old Chicken here. 3 down on the side of EHOME, they may just lose more. They found the Spirit Breaker, they'll get the 4. Triple kill for Matumba Man. Only the Tusk 11 escaping, and a massive fight for Liquid. More money into the bank here from Matumba Man. It's going to shoot him back up the net worth charts. Still a fair bit behind Old Chicken, but that's exactly what Liquid needed to find off the back of giving away the Aegis to EHOME.
That's rough. EHOME's front line is not strong enough. CTY is constantly getting caught out by the Blink Doom, and he doesn't have a BKB. They can't allow him to get the Doom off on the Alina. It's becoming more and more of a problem for EHOME. And yeah, maybe he'll get the Lincoln Sphere, but it might come out a little bit too late for him. I guess he had it before that fight. but now they just lost one of the biggest fights in this game.
Yep, and they're just going to go push now, Liquid. 30 seconds until the TA's back. And I think they'll realize that when they start to chip away and there's no buyback coming out. They might even find a full set of racks. There's not even a fortification. It's already been used. CTY trying to do their best to hold off Cactus back up. They'll have a charge available. They may just be able to hold here. TA now 30 seconds, so they're going to be alright. They'll keep the racks alive. Oh, okay, the block off Fada here. They've got a glimmer cape. 11's moving forward with the Seizure just to get the vision to see if he has actually trapped someone. And he will see now that he's got Fada, but shards are gone. And Liquid will back themselves out. So they take the tier 3 and they do a reasonable bit of damage here to the racks in the bottom lane.
Oh no, Doom has BKB now, so that's coming out around the Lincoln's timing, but the Lina doesn't have enough mobility in the fight to kind of deal with this. He can just blink, level death, and then doom her without really any response coming out from EHOME. We have to see like some sick Tusk plays for them to win in the team fight. And on top of that, they have to have superior positioning because of Liquid's threat with the Winner's Curse. We saw how useful it was last fight, and that was with the Aegis on TA. Like, she popped BKB and still got destroyed by Auk.
Yeah, these heroes on Liquid off the back are getting scary and scary. Matumba Man with the Skull Basher complete. Now as he fired his build, we've already said how tanky this guy is now with the Skadi, the SMY, the AC, and he's now working towards a Basher of his own. EHOME looking to fight here. They'll send the Spirit through. They're smoked up on the side of Liquid. The pings will come out here. Lanham, I think he realized that he did pass over someone with the Spirit. Got a bit of a boost, so he knows the hero was passed over, and yeah, Fada's revealing himself now, running straight in. 11, he's got an invis ring, looks his head up, but Tumba Man's just straight onto Kaka. Kaka will charge out the fight. BKB coming out here from Fada and Old Chicken. There's your Chain Frost moving in. It will bounce between Chicken and 11 here. They've got the curse out as well. Mind control, look at the CTY. They've lost the Lich here. They're going to lose Fada as well, and Old Chicken's just getting all the damage out. They can't kill this TA. Punch onto the slot. Jerax gets a stomp to the face, and Old Chicken with the double kill. If they don't kill the TA at the beginning of the fight, Old Chicken just rips through the lineup of Liquid.
Wow, did you see that snowball coming out from 11? He just delayed the fight so long for them, and then they took the fight opposite to where the Auk was. They kind of his entire BKB duration and went on the weak targets and just chewed through their supports.
Oh, I mean, this is a weak spot now for Liquid. 50 seconds with no Alchemist and no Slark, and the pushing power from EHOME is pretty damn fast. They don't even have a fortification here for Liquid. They're going to lose the mid-racks. They may lose more. They've still got a tier 2 in the top lane, but EHOME, they're going to go for the game. They realize that Slark and Al can't get back on the map. Buyback's coming out for Lich, but he doesn't have a Chain Frost. This could be game 1, then. I don't know if Liquid can stop this. The tier 4s are going down. Frost Armor's being thrown out from Kuroki, but there's no Doom online, no Chain Frost, and now they just hit the Ancient. Mind control coming in, but I think he realizes he can't do anything. They've got it back, and this could be it. They just can't stop it. This is going to be it. They've found the opening in EHOME. They take full advantage. There's a fortification to buy some time. And okay, they are going to have Slark now, but this is going to be big for Liquid. They need to find the best fight of their lifetime to hold. And I don't think it's going to happen. Old Chicken BKB's up, hits the Ancient, and takes the win.
Damn, EHOME has the most amazing team fights that I've seen. This Tusk has to be abandoned. Wow.
That was, yeah, I mean, I've always talked about CTY's quad, but you've sold me now, Ben, on the 11 Tusk. There's a reason why teams do sometimes prioritize taking that away from EHOME.
Winter told me that he was nicknamed like the tempo maker or something like that in China.
That's absolutely bang on. His snowballs on point time and time again, as you said, in the fights towards the end, and straight from the start, every time, duking things out, saving his team, allowing them to turn it around, and Old Chicken's performance as well, of course, on the TA.